Manage all your own and client WordPress websites in Modular DS with this very clean interface. You can do save updates with before and after screenshots, plan your updates on low traffic hours, schedule daily, weekly or monthly backups, and let Modular DS store them up to 90 days. They have extensive uptime monitoring, vulnerability scans with patch tag, beautiful maintenance reports for your clients including extra manual work, full Google and WooCommerce integrations, the possibility to white label the entire plugin, comprehensive database optimizations. You can have different teams access your clients. Use an extensive notification center connected to WhatsApp, Slack, Discord and email. And last but not least, Modular DS is fully GDPR compliant because it's a company from Spain. To start with a free business trial license, go to wp.discount/modulards because via my link you also get a 15% discount if you decide to buy Modular DS. Then we click on the right side, try it free. Fill in all your information, create a really strong password and press on create an account. Then we're going to answer all these questions. How would you describe yourself? How many WordPress websites do we manage right now? How did you hear about us? Well, of course, from a content creator. And then we press over here on start. First, we're going to add in my own website because you need a website which will be able to send reports from the domain name. If different people need to have access to your clients, like developers or coders or designers, you can just create multiple teams. Once you're done, click over here on continue. There are two ways Modular DS can connect to your websites. You can use the automatic way, fill in your credentials, or the manual way, install and activate the Modular Connector plugin. I'm going to use the plugin. So to do that, just log into your WordPress website. I go over here to plugins, add plugin. Then we just go over here, we type in Modular DS, and then we press over here on install now. And of course, don't forget to activate it. Then we press over here on connect now. And we have the public key and the secret key. We're going to copy that from Modular DS, press over here, and I'm going to paste it in over there, and the same with the secret key. Once you have pasted both in, you press on save. Now they are saved, go back to Modular DS, and then we click over here on connect. Beautiful. Now that was super fast. I'm also going to add another one, which is my wp.discount, and I'm going to connect that also. There we go. And then we are at the dashboard of Modular DS. And can I say that connecting this was really a breeze. I'm used to a lot of troubles with adding sites to main WP, manage WP, WP remote. Original names. But this is the first time it just worked out of the box without any problems. Well done, Modular DS. I'm going to walk you through every single option in here and over there in the menu on the left side, so you can see how well this system works and why I'm pretty impressed with this specific management tool. First, on top, you can find your website or themes with a single click and then just type. Or you can use from anywhere you are in Modular DS, use Ctrl-K, and then you can just start typing immediately. No more searching for that client or website. If you click over here, you can add in a website, the same we just did. Over here, you can see your current plan. I'm in the 14-day business plan trial, so that's why it gives me 250 gigabytes of backup space. Now, that's a lot. If you click over here, you can see all kind of notifications. You can click on the left side to see the specific notifications, and you can go to the notification center where you can filter them over here and also change the dates. Now, this is very useful if you have a lot of client sites inside of Modular DS. But there's more. If you click on configure notifications, if you press on create setting, you have three different steps. You have one, the general configuration, the name, the notification, to which website does it apply, and the last one is how do you want to receive the notifications. I'm going to call this one the Matt's notifications. If you scroll down, you can enable or disable website up and running, website down. It's simply just click enable or disable all the reports that you want to have. For example, I don't want this one. Then we press on next and you go to the websites. To which website does this configuration apply? Select the one you want and we press on next. how do you want to receive your notifications? Just type an email address and press enter, then it has been added to this configurations. You can also use WhatsApp, just fill in your country, add in your phone number, and remember, it only critical update notification will be sent by WhatsApp. And you can also use Slack and Discord. Once you have configured how you want to have it, you press over here on Save. And then you can see in the notification center that Matt's notification has been turned on, how it works, what kind of medium, and how many websites will be monitored with this notification settings. I must say, I have never seen such a notification center in any kind of management tool for WordPress. All these options, these are a lot, and I like it. So let's continue over here back to my websites. If you click over here, we can see the dark mode, which is very useful, of course, if you work late in the night or you just have, like me, a very dark studio. If you click on your name and you go to my profile, you can change, of course, your password, and you can also set up two-factor authentication. But if you click over here, you can also see my organizations. With organizations, you can manage different accounts. For example, you can have your agency organization, which includes your 50 clients, and another agency might grant you access to their organization so you can assist with the maintenance of their 100 clients within Modular DS. This way, the clients, teams, and accounts will not interfere with each other. Then, of course, we have over here the Help Center. Just search for anything you don't understand and documentation will pop right up. The public roadmap. If you're like me and you always see different things that can be improved, well, just upvote it or submit it here on their Trello board. Perfect. All right, then let us continue on the next row. Of course, the first one is the overview. You can filter it by using tags or themes. Change the order if you want, and you can click over here to switch to the list mode. And I really love that they spent a lot of time getting the interface just right. You can see the favicons, the names, the monitoring information. We are going to set up Uptime Monitor in just a second. The amount of updates that are pending, the last backups, the security and health, and of course the WordPress and PHP version. The only thing I'm missing here is a way to customize this table, because maybe you don't want to show the WordPress and PHP version because you're using always the same version on everywhere, everything, all at once. Wait, no, that's something else. If you click on your site name, you go to that specific page of this website. I'm going to show you that in just a few minutes. Let's get back. If you click on these three dots, you can log in directly to WordPress, even when you have hidden your backend. Something main WP still can't do after all these years. The menu is also available when you are in grid mode. There we go, and you can see the same menu, but there's a little icon here so you can log in directly to your WordPress. Very useful. Now these links are basically shortcuts to go into your single website and change these settings. If you click, for example, over here, you go to your website, you go to the backup or the Uptime Monitor database optimization. Well, I'm going to show you that in just a second. Then on the left side, we go to Updates and Manager. Now we have 3 tabs to manage plugins, themes, and WordPress core. And these filters over here are the same in all 3 tabs. If you click on this settings button, you will immediately go straight to the settings down here and on the updates to the save updates tab. We will be talking about this, all the settings, in just a minute. Let's go back to the updates and manager. If we go over here and we click on a plugin, first you will see on which website this updates applies to, but you can also see over here the Copilot score. Now this is very smart and very interesting. If you click on it, a pop-up will appear, and this data, this is the bomb. Of course, you can see your changes and the version and how big is this risk of updating this plugin. Well, it's a medium risk. But then we go to the popularity and adoption. Look at this. 17% of websites in Modular DS, not just your own website, but all of them across the entire globe, have this plugin, and this percentage has already updated and a few rollbacks. So it's safe. This is feedback from actual people updating their website. That's like 40,000 websites. I love this. All right, let's press close. I'm going to update in just a second, but then over here you can also press on install plugin. Then we can choose install from the repo, install from a zip file, or install from a URL. Well, I'm going to install WP Rocket. It's a premium plugin, not in the repo. By the way, if you don't use a caching plugin, check out this tutorial because I'll show you, take you by the hand, walk you through all the different steps and optimize your website extremely to make it faster. But we're going to install it from a zip file. Just click over here, select the zip file. Then we press over here, select websites, and then we select the websites we want to have this on, and we press over here on install. Overwrite the plugin if you've already installed it, activate the plugin after installation and clear the cache, of course. And then we press over here on install. And there we go, the installation has been completed and the plugin has been activated. Click on finish, and then we are back here. Now you can also select plugins, and then over here you can remove them if they first are deactivated, or you can activate them. Then you have to change this one to all plugins. Then you can deactivate them, or you can hide this plugin and of course update the plugins. When you press on update, we have 3 choices: quick, safe, and automated. I'm going to walk you through all of them, but all 3 have these options. You can choose to clear the cache after update or schedule the update. To do it, for example, in the middle of the night. The quick update uses the native WordPress updater. With the safe update, you can update with a backup, before and after screenshots, and the option to roll back if something goes wrong. And an automatic rollback will always be performed if a 500 error is encountered after the update. I mean, this is really awesome. You can do manual validation, review screenshots, or automatic validation. And then comes the slider that we saw with the percentage that it has to be different than the other one. So you can use this one, and we can also do this right now. All right, now it's time to update all of my plugins. I just select all of them and I press over here on update. And I want to do it on the safe way with manual validation and clear the caches after updates. Press on update. Now, because I've chosen the safe update, it will take some time before the screenshots has been loaded in, so you can compare them in just a second. And then all the updates are completed. So if I click on validation required, all these plugins have been updated, and I can check now if my website looks the same, or did it change, or what happens. Well, everything else looks really great. So I'm gonna press on keep changes. Now it's gonna push all these updates to my websites. As you can see, I also removed a license from one of these websites to show you what happens. There is an error. If you click on this one, you can see an error has occurred, update package not available. This means your license is not active, so the updater could not get the latest plugin version. This is how you know it. Also with the main WP child, we can see an error. What's this error? No pending update was found for this item. And it is because main WP has this ridiculous system of updating plugins without their own interface on the child. It just doesn't work the way it should. It's really frustrating how main WP handles all these things. That's why I'm going to ditch main WP, although I have a lifetime license. I'm going to ditch that and I'm going with Modular DS because it just works way smoother already. All right, then we go to the last website. We have over here validation required. And then we see on my website, I have multiple updates over there and the changes detected are 8%. Why is this? Well, on my front page, this is a video. So of course it is moving when you visit it in just a couple of seconds later. Then also over here, this is a slider and the logos are just sliding really slow on my homepage. That's okay. Of course, that will happen. This one is still the same. This one is still the same. Beautiful. And these are also moving testimonials on my website. So yeah, they also change. So that's why the changes detect are 8%. Well, this looks good. I'm gonna keep all my changes. Let's go with the update. While we're waiting, we can also do the next one. Then we see on WP discount, changes detect 9%. It's because of this slider. Also, it slides and we can see, hey, this is something interesting. Look at this. You can see that there's some spacing is off. That's weird. So now we know. So I can just push out the updates and go back to there and see, hey, what's going on with my footer? So I'm gonna press keep changes because they're acceptable and I'm gonna check it out later on. I really like how this system works. And with themes, you can of course do exactly the same. And then we go to the next one, which is the database optimization. Now every WordPress website has to do this once in a while to make sure the database won't get bloated and thus affecting your speed. On the top, we can see all these tabs. Now let's change this to all and you can see all the topics, what they are. Then you can go to posts, comments, users and others. Now, if you click on one of these, you can see which websites are affected and how many it is. For example, the post revisions, well, that's a very big one. On madtutorials.com, I have 1,504 revisions of old posts. So that means I edit the post and I change it afterwards, one revision. I change it again the next day, another revision. I changed another one. So I have 4 revisions already on just one post. Will I ever go back to the other revisions? It depends. Can you delete them? It totally depends. If those are very old and you know for sure, well, I'm not going to use these revisions at all, then you can just enable this one, clean all post revisions. If you're going to optimize a database, just click over here, select the website that you want to do if it's completely safe, and then we click over here on optimize. I was expecting to see the same options as with the plugins and the themes. Quick, save, backup first, or schedule this for the night, especially when this can generate a high load on the database and data loss or corruption may occur. We recommend that you make a backup before proceeding. Well, you know what? Let's also add that to the Trello board, shall we? What I really like about this system is that you can do this without installing another plugin. Modular DS is the first management tool that does the database optimization just from the dashboard screen. I love this. Then we go over here to reports. One of the things that I really love about Modular DS is that it pays for itself because of these reports. This enables you to charge for a maintenance service per client, or it helps you to sell your monthly maintenance plan. That's just perfect. But to show the value of that maintenance service, you have to send reports that collect the task you did, like creating backups, updates done, uptime reports, and all the visitor data from Google Analytics of their website. Now, let's do that right now. Now, you can create over here a global report, but what I advise you to do is first go to template and then create a template, because this is exactly the same builder, but now you can create templates that you can use as global reports. And we can create a template from scratch, from another existing template, or from a previous report. Of course, we're gonna create a template from scratch. Then we can say over here your general configuration, your content, and your generate report. All right, I'm gonna walk you through all these steps. Let's call this one the monthly maintenance report. Then we can change over here the language of your report to any language that you want. I really love it that there are so many languages inside of this, really necessary. Let's go for English for this tutorial. Change the format to what you use in your country, in your culture. I'm going with the 24 hours clock. And then we have in my country days, month, year instead of all the other ones. So I'm going to use this one. Then you can customize your report with your own logo. And I press on next. And then we are at the second step, content. Select what it includes. Now there's a lot of content you can include inside of your report and you can change all of them. First, you have the welcome message. So write your title, write your message content. And then we have all the sections that we want to have in our report. For example, the overview, the updates, what do you want to include and do you want to have an introduction of this section? You have the uptime monitoring, backups, database optimization. Well, look at this. These are really great. And if you open them up, you can specify everything inside of it. Include the Google Analytics logo, include comparison with the previous period. I would suggest to use the previous year because of seasons, you know, don't compare it to last month, but compare it to last year. And then you can also write and type introductions for every single section of this. This is really nice and I like the way how easy it is to change this entire report, because what I'm used to is creating templates within PHP. You have to know code and it uses HTML. It is a mess to create a simple report. So I really love this. Then we press on next. Can't send them, then you have to download it manually from Modular DS and send it manually if you want it. But you can also send it by email. And then of course, who is the sender name? Well, I would just go with the sender name, your business name, and the subject will be monthly. And of course, we need to change the message. You can type in hi and then /. And then we can see all the fields that we can use inside of this email and in the field. So hi client name, comma, and then you can type your entire message you want to have. There are 2 ways people can read your report. You can add it in as a PDF attachment. And if you don't do that, there will be a link automatically at the end of the message, if you click that one, you go online to your report. But I want to have it as a PDF as attachment. Then we scroll down and then we can choose the address from which it is sent. Now this is crucial. If it will be sent from no reply modulards.com, I would not advise you to do so. It's not very professional. So we need to add in our own domain and we have to authorize it to send emails, or else all your mails will get in the spam boxes and nobody will ever see your maintenance reports. To do that, you go to settings, but I'm going to show you that in just a couple of minutes while we'll be configuring all the settings of Modular DS. All right, and then we have generated a template. Now you can apply this to the global report, generate another template, or just simply press on finish. And then we are here. At the templates, we now have a monthly maintenance report, and you can of course edit the template or delete it. If you now go to your report, you can create a global report, you can schedule it, a one-time report or a pre-maintenance report. In here we can create a report from scratch, or you can create it from a template or create a previous. If you now click on template, here is a template that we have just created. So we press on select template, and then we can see everything we've just filled in is already in here. And also with the content, but now we can also go to websites. And in here you can select the website that you want to have. Press on next, and then we can generate the report again to send it. How are you going to do it? Exactly the way we've already done it. And then we press on schedule report. Then we press on finish, and we can see now on reports we have the monthly maintenance report, affects 2 websites. You can click over here, you can view it, preview it, or edit it. Now, this seems like such a basic feature, but you can really sell this to your clients. Now, let's first generate a global report, a pre-maintenance report. These reports can be generated as soon as the website is connected to Modular DS without the need to activate any specific feature. This is to show a potential client things like pending updates, known vulnerabilities on the website, critical errors, page speed score, analytics reports, and so on, to give them a lot of reasons to hire you and to do the maintenance of that website. So these guys are like, hey, we need to hire this maintenance guy because this looks awesome. Let's do this. He knows exactly what he's talking about. We can create it from scratch, from template. Let's use a template. Also this one, select it. Now again, everything has already been set up, but now you go to websites and I want to sell this maintenance plan, for example, to madtutorials.com. I press on next. Then I'm going to send it by emails, and I'm going to change the email subject. And then of course I'm going to need this one, and then type a simple message to tell them exactly what you sent them. And then it will send automatically this pre-maintenance report to this specific client. This is really awesome. If you say, hey, where can we add our clients? It's over here. I'm going to walk you through that in just a couple of minutes. Hold on. First, we go over here to WP users. This is a great place to quickly see all the admin users per website, but also to find a specific admin user that you still need to delete. As you can see when it has been registered and on what website this is. You can search users and websites over there to make it really easy. Then we go over here to patch and protect. Modular DS uses the extremely powerful systems of PatchStack, the leading security company in the WordPress world. It provides advanced protection for your WordPress sites by applying virtual patches, mitigation rules, and hardening rules that block known vulnerabilities and common attack methods. Now, it is available for $2 a month per site on Pro plans, and you can activate it anytime from each website's health and security section. So you go to one of these, you click on a website, then you go over here to the health and security section, Patch and Protect. Patch and Protect installs a lightweight helper plugin powered by PatchStack that improves your site's security. I cannot activate this because I'm still on the trial plan because it's not free. But when you have activated this on a specific website, you can go over here to white label to make sure your client doesn't see the PatchStack plugin if you want to hide that or you don't want them to mess around with it. Then we go over here to themes. Here you can manage your themes and create new themes. If you want to create a new one, just press over here, all my designers inside of one theme. Can I create a theme? You can connect new websites, of course, over here, but you can also go to your theme right there, press on edit, and then you can change the theme of this one. So I wanted to put in the designer's theme. I press save changes, and now it's also in the designer's theme. Perfect. And now you can see my website, you can see all of them, but I can filter them on themes or tags, whatever I want to have. I want only to see the designer themes. There we are, just one result. And I can go over to themes. And I also want to see my theme, and there we go. Then we go over here to management and administration. At the plan and billing, I really like how clean this has been set up. No hidden fees, just everything you pay in one go. Also, I would like to shine some light on the overage use. If you use more storage than anticipated or use more websites or more users, no problem, you pay as you go. No need to immediately go into a higher plan. So this is very nice. Just add extra users. And if you want to have a new plan, that's also possible. Then we go over here to the settings. And now we can set up the entire website. The first one is the white label. If you enable this one, you can change how the plugin looks on your client website. Your clients do not need to know how much money you are making on the maintenance service, right? You can first change the plugin name to your business name. For example, madtutorials.com. For example, this description is very nice and people can see that inside of the website. And then you can even change the author's name and the author's URL. So this is how the plugin now looks. Modular connector, connect everything inside of my client website. But when I press save changes over here and I refresh my client site, look at this. This is really awesome. Then we go over here to domains and emails. This is the place where you can customize your domain so you can send reports via your own domain. I'm going to walk you through this entire process. So click first over here, add domain. Then we're going to add in our domain. In this case, madtutorials.com, and I press on add. Then we need to modify our DNS so that emails can be sent from this domain name. It's pretty simple. Just log into your hosting company and you go over here to domain and you go to the DNS zone editor. Of course, this can look different at your hosting company, but the main thing you do over here is we're going to create new records. In this case, we're going to create a couple of CNAME records. So copy this CNAME, paste it in over here exactly like this, and then resolves to, and this will be the resolve to. Press on create. You can see in our DNS configuration, we have created all these CNAMEs that Modular DS wants us to create. Now remember, domain verification can take up 72 hours. Because of all these changes, they need to propagate through the entire internet, so it takes some time. You can press right now on verify to see if it works, but it hasn't been found just yet, so I have to come back later to verify it again. So while we are waiting, we just continue with the Google accounts. If you go over here, you can connect your Google account to be able to share analytics, for example, in the Search Console information. So we press over here on add account and choose the Google account you want to connect to Modular DS. I always have to sign in with two-factor authentication. And then Modular DNS wants to see our name and profile picture and our email address. Well, that's basically all. Press OK. Then we have to give Modular DS access to Google Analytics and also Google Search Console data. Yes, I want this. Press on continue. Well done. Now we have connected our Google account to Modular DS. But if you want to add more Google accounts, just press over there and you can add as many as you need or want. And you can reconnect it or delete it over there. All right, let's go to the next one, server credentials. Very important if you're going to work with the built-in backup system from Modular DS. I really recommend it because it's very cheap and it's also an off-site backup place in Europe, in Spain. So that's perfect. You press on add FTP as FTP and then you just fill in all this information. And then we press over here on verify connection. Connection verified successfully, and we press over here on save. Now Modular DS can use this to bring back some backup. So that's really great. We're also going to do that with a database. We press on add database. Now you can restore your backup straight from the dashboard and you don't need to use FTP, SFTP credentials or database credentials. It's not needed, but it is a possibility. If you sometimes just destroy your entire WordPress installation, if it gets corrupted and you cannot log into WordPress back again because it's been destroyed on your host, this is the way to do it. After that, we go to the last setting, which is updates. In here, we have to clean the cache by default. This is very useful if you have caching plugins. Then we have to save updates. Now this is on 15%, should be great. I've shown you how this works. And the URL used for comparison, you can use your homepage or the contact us page or any other page you want. Most of the time, the homepage is the most logical choice as that's kind of a landing page with everything inside of it, so you can check if everything still works. All right, then we go over here to users. Here we can invite users over here to work with you in the same Modular DS dashboard. Of course, you can add an invitation over here. So enter in a mail. The admin and the owner is just simple. You can just send in an invitation and that's it. But if you use the collaborator and the viewer, you can first select the teams that we will have access to and also all the new websites that will be added to that team. But you can also give a person access to only one of these. And if it's already added inside of this team, it will only be able to see these two websites within the team. If you want that, press send invitation and then an invitation has been sent through this one and you can invite more people or just finish up. And here you can see the invitation sent, the viewers, collaborators, all these roles will be up here and you can manage everybody who can work with you inside of Modular DS. It's so simple. And then we go over here to clients. So let's say I have wpressdoc.com and then I'm going to invite my client, which name is the WPress Doctor, and press on create client. Now this way you can use this client to send reports to and to send notifications to if you want that. Before I'm going to show you individual websites and also the pricing, let's go to the changelog. And here we can see every changes that has been made over the last few days inside of Modular DS, which is pretty much. Alright, then there are two more things I want to talk to you about. The first one is my website. If you go to website and you click on the name or the image, I'm going to walk you through all these settings and all this information inside this page so we know exactly what's going on. And after that, I'm going to talk about the pricing in Modular DS and how you can make this profitable if you have a lot of clients running right now. You can press on create tag to add in a tag. For example, I want to see all Elementor websites, and then you can just go to tags. I want to see all Elementor websites, or maybe all e-commerce websites that have some kind of e-commerce system on it. Tags are really useful. All right, let's get back. Let's start at the top. The first thing you can see over here is create task and add a note. Now, I really like this if you work together with a lot of different kind of people. If you press on create task, we can see what we have done on this website, and this will also be placed inside of the reports. For example, you can do it like this. On this date, I have 2 hours spent. I redesigned the homepage. And the message will be, as discussed on the phone, on this exact time, we added a few buttons, made the slider go faster, made sure WP Rocket fixes your speed. All right, here we can attach images and we can also mark this as pending. So we are still working on it. This way, someone else can pick it up or you can go further once you have more time. Then we press create task. Where is this task created? Over here at reports, you can see the monthly maintenance report and you can see additional tasks. And here we can see additional tasks that will be placed inside the monthly maintenance report. So that's perfect. All right, let's get back to the overview. Then we have over here notes. Write a note to remember something important about this website. For everybody who can log into Modular DS, for everybody to see on this website. Wait a second. And if you save the note, it will go up over there. I like this. I like this a lot. Then you can also with one click clear the entire cache or just log into WordPress. Again, over here we can see the updates of the themes, WordPress itself and the plugins. It's over there. You can install a plugin. Then on the right side you can see the patch and protect. And then we scroll down and on the right side you can activate backups. If you click on this button, you will go over here to backups. So we're going to do that in just a second. We have the database optimization. If you click over here, you go over there. And then we have over here the reports. If you press on new, you go over here to the reports. And then over here, you can see the analytics. If you press on the connect analytics, you go to the metrics tab. Uptime monitor. Also, if you press on activate uptime monitor, you go over there. So we'll be talking about that in just a second. The same accounts for the Google Search Console. And then last but not least, you can also see your WooCommerce metrics, like how many sales you have, how many visitors you had, how much money you created. Now that is really nice and I've never seen that again in any management tool. So I love to see this in the report because I use main WP, manage WP, and all these records, all these WooCommerce connections, they didn't work. So that was like a bummer, but this one does work. And I'm going to show you that in just a second. Because if you click on activate WooCommerce, you go over here to metrics WooCommerce. So I'll be covering that in just a second. Let's go first to backups over there. Then we have 3 tabs: activity, settings, and restoration. I hope you never have to use the restoration, but better to have it than that you don't have it after all. If we click on configure backups, we go to settings. If your WordPress folder's location is just default, keep this option on default. Then we have the content of the backup. What do you want to include in your backups? Of course, you want to have all tables, and I think you want to have all WordPress files. Then you can exclude files. And then we go over here to recurrence. How often do you want your backups to be made? If you're doing weekly or daily backups, you can choose it for 45 days, 60 days, or even 90 days. If you click on that one, here is where we are. I'm going to talk to you about this in just a second, the difference and how to make it profitable for your business. And if you think, hey, I miss a lot of configurations, it's true. Go click over here on expert configuration. And here we can set the max number of files, the max zip file, the max wait time, and exclude databases table with a different prefix. You have like 2 WordPress installations in one database. I do not recommend to do that, but it is possible. All right, once everything is set up, you press over here on save and schedule. Then the first backup will immediately run. Then we go to restoration. Here you can restore your backups. To do that, you have to select the right FTP credential. Well, this is not the right one, but okay. And also with the database server, you can select this one, or you can use any other one. You can just add them in over here, edit credentials, or add a new one, create a new one, and add it to this specific website. Then we go over here to Uptime monitoring. I really love the fact that they have built this in when it actually works better than, for example, what I use right now, Uptime Monitor. Let me just show you how often I get these emails. I'm getting sick of it because never ever are these websites really down. They're all false positives, and it really frustrates me every time I go, oh no, it's down, and I have to check it again. I'm really sick and tired of Uptime monitoring. Plus, it isn't free if you have a lot of sites, just like me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to activate Uptime Monitor from Modular DS. All right, the monitor is now activated for this specific website. You can change the interval over here. It's now every 30 minutes, which I think is pretty fine. You can also do 5 minutes and 2 minutes if you want that and you have a mission critical website. When it's down after 10 seconds, 20, 30, 45, I would go with 45, sounds better to me. Now these were all the basic settings, but now we have this advanced uptime monitoring system. Look at this. Your website will be considered down when a check does not show all the defined words. For example, the name of this specific brand is called White Diamond. So if the crawler visits the website and they don't see this word White Diamond, they know, whoa, the website should be down. Then you scroll down and you can use follow redirects. Monitor HTTP redirects and verify that your website redirects to the expected URL. This is also really powerful. If you have a redirect from there going to somewhere else, the maximum number should be 5. Enter in the expected final URL, and we can also see if this redirect still works. Then you also have SSL monitoring, a receive alert when your website SSL certificate is about to expire. Normally this should be done by your hosting company, but sometimes they don't do it, or maybe you have your own hosting company and you would like to have this one. And then we can see over here the notifications, because this website has been added to my notification center, Math client notifications, email and WhatsApp. And then we press on save changes. And if you now go over here to activity, and then you can see the uptime monitor for this specific website. Hey, this is Matt from the future. Let me show you how this looks when you're running it a couple of days. I have never seen such a detailed uptime monitor system as this. Come, take a look at this. This is over the last 24 hours, but if you click here, you can do the last 7 days. When you hover over it, you can see exactly what's going on. Total, how many seconds did it took Modular DS to reach your website? How much time did it take to download your content, processing the server, SSL handshake, TCP connection, DNS lookup? All these things can be found inside of this uptime monitoring system. That's a lot. If you also see here, we had a downtime. The website has been down for 32 minutes at 6 a.m. in the morning. That's not really good, but it's very nice to know. But that's not all. If you scroll down, you can see the last check, press on see details, and you can see even more details of the last check. Over here, you can change your activity changes. You can extend the range. It was up for 5 days, then a half an hour downtime, and then 3 days again, it's now already up. If you click on view details, you can see what was the problem when they tried to reach your website. In this case, yes, it was the server. It was not the DNS, not the SSL handshake. No, it was the server. We had an internal server error. This is vital information. If you see this, for example, a lot happening on a specific domain, what's causing it? Dive into your error logs, fix the error, or maybe change hosting if it's just all across all your websites. Also over here is the SSL certificate details. If you click on this, you can see exactly when it's valid, until when. This is really great information. Then we go over here to database optimization. Well, it's basically the same as I've shown you in the settings before, but then it is per website. Great. Let's go to metrics and we start with Google Analytics. I don't have Google Analytics running on this website. So let me quickly switch over to another one. Ctrl K on my keyword and I'm going to use medtutorials.com. Perfect. I go over here to metrics, analytics, and I'm going to connect my Google account. Then select your Google account. Then select the right account, then select the right property and press on confirm. There we go. Now our analytics data has been loaded in and you can see everything what's going on your website, or you can click over here to go directly to analytics. I love this. You can also compare your data with the previous period or the previous year, what I always advise people to do because of the seasons inside of this year. Then we go over here to Search Console. Again, connect your Google account and select the right property and press on confirm. And there we go, all the information will be loaded into your Search Console, and this is really amazing. I love this. All right, let's go even further to the reports. Now here you can create a report, but this time it is per individual website. Again, you can create a scheduled report one time or pre-maintenance. But for now, you know exactly how this works, so I'm not going to show you again. Then we have the additional task. We can create a task that we've just seen over here, create a task. It's exactly like this, but then you can also do it over here. Create a task. And there we go. Fill in everything you want and it will be shown in here. Finally, we have the health and security. Here you can of course enable, patch and protect. It's only €2 a month per client. So that's a no-brainer if you want that. And then finally over here, you can see how many tags are blocked per day. And this you can also communicate in your reports to your clients, so it pays for itself. Then over here we have the site settings. Then you can change per website, of course, the URL, the name, the connection, the themes. You can regenerate the thumbnails. You can add in a logo. You can change the username by which you want to log in automatically with a one-click login user. You can add some tags and you can assign clients. Also, we have the connection keys that are running right now in the plugin. Or you can use HTTP basic authentication, of course, and we have the save updates. Then we go to really neat feature, maintenance mode. You can activate this one and then the entire website will show this image. Website under maintenance, you can change this and of course the description, and I'll also change the background color. And you can also activate avoid indexing. Now this is a pretty nice feature, no need for another plugin. It's already in there. And then the last one is the white label settings per website. So you can change this to deactivate the white label settings for this specific site. I don't know why you want to do this, but you can also create a custom for this site. For example, something like this on Hey Bob, this is our maintenance plugin. Do not delete this. Thanks in advance. It's all possible per website. So I really like this. All right, I've shown you the entire system. Now it's time to talk about money. If you go over here to upgrade now, you can see all these prices. Remember, if you use my link, it's in the description of this video or in the comment section, you will get 15% discount on all your prices. So keep that in mind because it will really save a lot. Now, the main difference between these plans are how many websites you can add into. But remember, you can also, if you have the freelance option, you can also add in 2, 3, 4 extra people for €3 a month extra. So you can do that all the way up until you reach the 29 and then you go over to this plan. It's a very good system. It works great. Here you can see the amount of users also changes. And if you scroll down, you can see the storage. How many gigabyte do you have for all of your clients? But no worries, if you exceed your plan limit, each additional 100 gigabyte package costs only €4 a month. And for €4, you can double this amount to 100 gigabyte. That's really awesome. You have the backup retention, which is all the same except for the last plan. Then you have the Uptime monitor, of course, the difference, Uptime SSL. And then all plans includes all these things. But if you want to have the plugin white label and the priority support, you have to go with the business or the enterprise plan. What we have right now in the trial is the business license, and I really like what I see. Another very important thing is if you scroll all the way down, you can see all these frequently asked questions. Do they comply with GDPR? Of course they do, because everything, all our servers and database are hosted within the European Union. And we do not sell your data to third parties. Very important. They offer migration support. So if you have 100 plus websites you want to migrate, just give them a call and they will help you out to fix this for you, and they take care of it for you because they really want to grow, and this is the way to do it. All right, let's go with the business plan. I press on selected. And then the billing cycle is always yearly because it saves you a lot of money. Because if I do it monthly, it's 59 euros. You'll see that I get almost 2 months for free. So that's a big saving. Now, if you use my discount code, which is MAT15, you also get another 15% discount on your annual plan. I hope I really helped you out with this tutorial. And to be honest, I'm really a modular fanboy right now. I'm going to switch all my websites to them. So if you have any questions, just drop it down in the comments. I'll always reply. Have a great day. Hope to see you in the next video.